Good afternoon, it's Jim with Becky behind the camera, and we are With It Retirees in Beaverton, Oregon. Well, today I'd like to do a little project whereby I'm going to show you how to make a magnetic chalkboard coat rack, which is something I needed and I've built, so I have a prototype here and I'm going to show you how to build one. So, first of all, really this is a story about saving money and two boards. So let's start with board number one, right here. In the Willamette Valley in Oregon, people build fences commonly out of cedar with treated 4x4 posts. Well, around here, 15, 20 years, the posts go and the fence falls down, and you need a new one. So you get a lot of these boards. These came from a house that my son had. 100 feet of boards like this, so I saved 6 of these. I wish I'd saved more. I heard that they were good for building things out of, and I've discovered that they really are. So anyhow, this is board A. It's one just like this. I have 5 more. So what I built was this. I don't know what's the best way to show it. And this wood has no stain at all on it. That's just polyurethane, clear polyurethane on fence boards. And I think that's some of the coolest looking wood I've seen. Really nice stuff. So I really like this stuff. I'll get more next time I find a fence that's fallen down. There's a lot of it around. So anyhow, some features of this that I built. Obviously it's magnetic, and it has a chalkboard on it. Something that you should know while we're going through this. When you first get a chalkboard, you need to take a piece of white chalk and go this way and this way, completely cover it, and then wipe it all off with your, whatever you call those things, wiper offer, and it'll take on a whole different attitude and it'll just be like a chalkboard. So I really like this a lot. I put these nice hooks on here because this is going to be a coat rack. And because it's going to be a coat rack and I'm not just going to hang it on the wall, I used a different kind of hanger. This is a commonly called a mirror hanger. And this one plate goes on the board, and another one similar, only upside down on the wall, and then this hangs right in it, but it's much nicer and it doesn't do nearly as much as of this. So anyhow, this is what we're trying to build. I'm going to put this down. And now we're going to go to board number 2. So this summer, my wife and I were walking, which we do a lot right around the neighborhood. About a block away, some people were remodeling their house, and they had a pile of lumber that was marked free. Well, this used to be 8 feet long. It's not anymore because I used the other part. You'll see how. So this board was laying there. I said, God, I just got to have it. 1x3, which is really 1x2.5, is a real handy board to have. So if you see any of these, get them. So basically, here we go. What are we going to do? We're going to take this board. We're going to cut a 45-degree angle on it. There's a couple of ways you can do that. If you don't have a chop saw, this miter box here will work just dandy. It's got 45s either way, and it will also cut long ways if you need to. So if you really need to go on the cheap, get yourself one of these and it'll do the job. That being said, this is the handiest piece of equipment you will get, medium size, bigger than just hand tools. Highly recommend you get a chop saw of some kind. You want to glide on it so that you get a longer cut. Typically they'll do 10 inches then. This is light. You can pick it up. It moves around. You can do a lot of stuff with these. Obviously, when you do use it, you should have eye protection and read the directions. You'll notice this is set at 45 degrees. So like you don't really have to have a brain for this. So you're thinking to yourself, how do I make a frame? I set that at 45, cut at 45. Now this is the critical part. In this case, by the way, this stuff here is just under 12 inches square. So if you make a 12-inch hole, it will fit inside. We'll go back to that in a minute. Cut a 45. You want to mark right there to right there, the inside part, from there to there, 12 inches. If you get that right, Everything else falls in line. Then you cut that off. Now you got one piece. 12 inches, don't forget that. Here we go. Now we take this piece that we just cut off. It's gonna look like one of these. And we mark 3 more. And we cut 3 more. Now we have 4 identical pieces. Now we're going to take a piece of plywood a little bit bigger than we need. We're just going to set them on there. And this is folk art. It doesn't have to be perfect. It has to look nice, and it's supposed to be a little bit off, so don't get all fanatical about it. Now we've built ourselves a frame with 12 inches inside. Now we mark here, and we mark here. So we do that. Take this saw here. Second on my list of things you really ought to have. This comes if you buy a set of Ryobi tools. Many times you'll get a circular saw with it, which is vital to a lot of things you make. So I suggest you buy a set of Ryobi tools as soon as you can and get one of those in. Anyhow, you've cut this now to where it's the right length. Put that over there. So now we have a piece like so. I finished on the back, by the way. The finish I used on the first piece, by the way, the one we just saw a minute ago, is polyurethane. This is a water-based polyurethane. It's considered an indoor sealer, but it's real good sealer for a lot of things, and it's very, very easy to put on. You can put a coat on and it will dry easily in 2 hours at room temperature, and you can put 3 or 4 coats in a day on. And it'll give you a nice, pretty good waterproof coating. I use it for almost everything. This and this finish and this stuff here, when you're using them, all 3 of them, get them up to temperature. 90 degrees would be good, but at least room temperature or a little bit above. Anyhow, that's what I put on the first one. This one, I put this Watco teak oil. And this stuff is straight on outdoor stuff. It's kind of messy to use and it's sticky. You put it on with a rag as opposed to a paintbrush. You need to wear gloves or you get it on yourself and it's hard to get off. But once it goes on and it has a couple days, it takes it a while to dry too, but it's a really good outdoor furniture type stuff. So I just put it on here just so I'd get a little bit of color on this wood. So now we have this put together on our board, and I actually finished the board on the back side. Now we're going to either nail this down using a nail gun, like this, another Ryobi, but you don't really need that at all. You can just use some little finished nails and a hammer, and we measure this, of course, to make sure it's right, and you're going to nail it through this way, flip it over, nail it through the other way, and you'll be good to go. Now you've got your frame ready. You've got this stuff heated up to 90 or whatever. I would roll it out, and you could put it under here and flatten it out and leave it flat and put a bucket of water on there so that it weighs like 20, 30 pounds, and just leave the whole thing set so this sits flat. It flattens out real good if you let it sit for a few hours and it's warm. So now you have this flattened off. It's sticky back, so it has a back that comes off it. And you're going to stick it in there, and you're just going to put it down. And when I did it, it laid down real nice. So it lays down, and there you've got your board cut. Now the other thing you do is when you're finished, I put a little 1/4 inch square on the inside, just right over the top of it. I think it makes sure it holds in, and it's a nice touch, and you can go a different color if you want, which I did there. So anyhow, that's it. The things you can do differently with this, you could paint this, a whole bunch of stuff. Anyhow, that's about all I've got today. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. Let me know how it comes out, and we'll see you next time.